Once in a while, a car just totally changes. Like this one. All together now, that's an Escape? Yep. Let's drive the 2013 Titanium Edition and check the tech.
If Ford set out to escape the look of the old Escape, they did it. This is about as different from the previous rolling brick as they could have gotten. This is their kinetic design. You recognize the lines, and especially the face, from the new Fusion and the redesigned Focus. Now, the first thing I notice on the inside of the new Escape is it looks uncannily like the outside of the new Escape. Look at the shape of the dash and this lower bolster. Now look at the outside. Kind of the same part, isn't it? Do they just put a dash on the front and paint it blue? Anyway, here's where the real design has to be questioned. It's what's going on with My Ford Touch and Ford Sync. Now, My Ford Touch is this interface they have on this central unit. They've taken a bit of a beating from various sources, us included, about the earlier incarnations of this. Let's see how they've cleaned it up. I like these much bigger transport buttons and generally larger buttons all around. If I go to my sound settings, things get a little more dense. I'm starting to get a little nervous here, but everything's still pretty touchable and readable. If I go down here to the information screen, oh dear God, it's like reading a phone book. That's not clean enough. Little slow to transition between modes, you see? But generally, I'm pleased with how this screen looks in terms of its various zones. I'm not so pleased with how it's implemented in this vehicle with this, and this. You've got 4 physical bumpers all around the screen. Look what I gotta do. I gotta navigate over this plastic ridge and find this tiny thing at the bottom. Same thing goes for hitting the nav. I've gotta work around this eyebrow. It's just too tightly surrounded in this plastic canyon. And it's kind of far away. I've got monkey arms and it's kind of hard to reach this thing. Now, of course, you may never touch this thing if you use the voice command. Let's see how it's working. 235 2nd Street, San Francisco, California.
Sorry, please say the address and city. Say each digit individually, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
235 2nd Street, San Francisco.
Asking what can I say will...
2 times earlier today, I gave that same address as 235, and it got it. I gave it here in single digits, and it didn't get it. However you get things going, there's a lot of good sources here. As you can see, you've got your RCA jacks, SD card, 2 USB slots, and of course AM, FM, HD, satellite radio. Everything's in here except a hard drive. No hard drive or solid state drive to rip music to, and I don't miss that a bit. See, now here the system is stuck on AV jacks I don't even have anything plugged into. This is all, I think, part of a central need for more processing power or more software streamlining on this car. Navigation, by the way, is optioned into this car by getting the SD card that has the navigation on it. It's not something you have to buy necessarily until later, as you own the car. Go get the card, stick it in there, and it grafts that functionality on. I like the way Ford does that. Rear camera technology is pretty good on this vehicle. You've got trajectory, you've got distance, you've got sensors all around the car, front and rear, part of a parking package, and you've also got Active Park Assist. This guy will park itself and does it quite well. Now, I think the first self-parking system I ever demoed was in an '07 Lexus LS, and it was a disaster. I mean, you had to do a CAD CAM drawing on the center screen first, and then allocate most of an hour for the car to do its thing, and it still left the nose hanging out. Cut them some slack. It was early days. Today's system works really well. Quick, thorough, simple, and requires about as many new ingredients as leftovers for dinner. So here's a scenario. You just came out of Costco or somewhere, bought a whole bunch of stuff, saw some jackass on the TV screens, and now you got to put your things in the back, but your hands are full. You don't dare put them down because there's a steaming pile of the homeless guy left behind your car. So what do? Ford's got an answer. You just wag your foot over here, and the tailgate opens all by itself. Now, of course, this is a 2-row vehicle. There's no room for a 3rd row. But when I show you the 2nd row, you wouldn't be blamed for looking at that flat, thin back seat and saying, "No, it's okay, I'll take the waterboarding option." But it's actually not a bad seat in spite of its looks. You've got some good dense foam and some good sculpting. By the way, Ford's big on the fact that these foam pads are made of soybeans and the carpet's recycled water bottles. And the key here is you've got one hand fold flat. Let's say I got the groceries again. I just pull this lever, and the whole thing goes flat with no other screwing around. Now this engine's more than just the engine in the new Escape. This may become Ford's new bread and butter. It may become, to the future, what the 302, the 5-liter, was in the past. This is the 2-liter turbocharged direct injection 4. It's an EcoBoost motor. That's what Ford calls it when they put DI and turbo together, but they don't have a patent on that. 240 horsepower, 270 foot-pounds of torque. It's a torquey little beast because that's how they've decided to use the turbocharging, among other things. 0 to 60 happens in about 6.8 seconds on this vehicle, which weighs 3,500 pounds. Your mileage is going to be 2230 front-wheel drive. If you go all-wheel drive, you shave a few off, down to 2128. And it all goes out through one transmission on all Escapes, a 6-speed automatic that has a sport mode, but unfortunately no paddles on the wheel, one of those lame little rockers on the left side. I'm not as crazy about those, but let's go see how it works. On the road, it comes together a little better than the sum of its parts, if you will. That engine may seem very small, the power is quite good. The build quality in this vehicle is real good. And in general, you've got this feeling of high style and good quality inside this vehicle. If you like the looks, you like them. If you don't, that obviously won't get you very far. But most people I've shown it to really liked it, inside and out. Okay, let's price this guy. 2013 Escape titanium top trim is about $31 with destination. Add $1750 for all-wheel drive and take a 2 mpg hit on your highway mileage as well. Navigation, the system is still slow and bulky, but it's a pretty good bargain at $795. And the one that I really love is that parking package. Sensors, camera, and the self-parking logic. That's like magic for $995.